What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Predator Hunting Grounds video. Today I want to talk about some of the concerns I have with Predator Hunting Grounds. The game's been out for a few days now. I've gotten a ton of playtime in to the point where I maxed out on PS4 and I'm on the road to maxing out again on PC. And I've kind of noticed some things that bother me, things that I think absolutely need to happen for Predator Hunting Grounds to stay memorable, to stay playable, to keep a player base there. And these things need to kind of happen. Let's talk first about finding games. Now, this issue's already kind of faded away, but I want to bring it up because I know so many people are going to bring it up in the comments. This was one I expected, so I'm not freaking out about it. Server issues on even huge games like Call of Duty almost always has them on launch. It's tough to find games, it's tough not to lag like crazy and things like that at launch. Those issues have pretty much been addressed. If you're playing as Fireteam, you're going to find games extremely quickly. If you're trying to play as Predator, that's a whole other issue, but it's an issue we see in a bunch of games, like finding games in Dead by Daylight to this day is still a bit of an issue. So it's something, the only way to really fix that problem is to make it where it's always random. You can't just pick, I want to be Predator or I want to be Fireteam. You go in and you can have your preference set to Fireteam or Predator, which is technically what they're trying to do now. Your preference is on one, but really if you select Predator, you're going to be Predator and your wait time's going to go up. In things like F13, that's not the case. Your preference is there and it counts. It picks you once you're in the lobby, not before you get in there, right? So that's kind of the way you'd have to do it. You have to make it where it's always random, and then people will complain about that too. There's really no winning situation. Someone's going to always be upset about it. But I will say the wait time for Predator has also gone down quite a bit. I've been getting games around 4 minutes-ish, which kind of a while, but I still to this day wait longer to find games as Survivor on Dead by Daylight and on Xbox. So I don't know. It's getting there. Ultimately, it's getting there. So that's not one of my big complaints. My biggest issue when it comes to Predator Hunting Grounds, and I think a lot of people can agree with this, is replayability. All right? Replayability is my biggest concern. I don't want to nitpick all the little details like the graphics aren't good enough. That to me, fuck graphics. I don't really care. Replayability is my big thing. I need to be able to not get bored. And one of my biggest issues with the game at launch is, why did they only do 3 maps at launch? And not to mention 3 maps that are damn near the same. They're all in this jungle environment. That needs to be changed up extremely quickly. Okay, like we need a new map or maps very quickly that are in different environments. We mentioned Antarctica in a past video, doing an Alien vs. Predator map, or doing, of course, a Predator 2 map in the city, just a different environment to make us feel like we're doing something different. And on the topic of replayability, another thing that would definitely add to that is making the objectives more difficult or different, just unique for Fireteam members. Predator, I think you're always going to have fun. I don't really think that'll ever get boring. I think killing people is just going to be fun in the game at all times. Unless you're always getting your ass whooped, in which case that's a different story. We'll talk about that in a second. But for Fireteam, you can get boring pretty quickly if you don't have stuff to do, you know? So to me, make it where there are legitimate puzzles you have to solve. Rather than just holding square on an objective and waiting for shit to happen, do some puzzles, you know? Make it where one player, one Fireteam member has to be doing a puzzle and trying to figure it out, just similar to the bomb defusal, similar to something like that, and they have to solve that while the rest of the team guards him. That is more exciting. That to me is more fun. Or make it where people have to work together, like actually have to work together to do objectives. That to me is more interesting. I also think like there's objectives where you have to go grab the keys and bring it to the door. Even though those things are separated, like ways apart, one team can grab the keys and the next team can still be at the next objective at the door. Even though that person didn't grab the keys, he can still unlock the door with the keys. Like, just change things up like that to add to replayability, and I think it'll be much more successful. Like I said, that's one of my biggest concerns, so they need to kind of figure that out. And on the same topic, with replayability again, progression plays into that as well. Progression, it took me 2 days to hit max level on PS4. I did have double XP, yes, but okay, double that. That's 4 days. 4 days and you've already hit max level, you're done? Alright, now what? See, that to me is an issue, and this is where I think Dead by Daylight gets it right. Because you always have something to grind for. You're always wanting better perks or new add-ons or new items to carry in the game. That's the right idea. You need to have a system like that to really keep you playing for a long time. So Predator needs to implement something along those lines and make it more worth it, more satisfying while playing. Otherwise, you're going to see player count fall off pretty fast. That's, again, my biggest concern. Optimization. That was one of the things people were worried about. I will say, hands off to Alphonic. They did some work in the last month to fix optimization. And not to mention the first patch that came out after only 1 day of the game being out, or 2 days of the game being out, actually helped a lot with optimization. It made PS4 even smoother. So I think they're in a pretty good area there. It's not great. It definitely can be better. But overall, it's very much playable. And I'm satisfied with that. Bugs, not so much an issue either. There are some, obviously those need to be addressed, but honest to God, a relatively smooth experience at launch, so I can't really complain about those things. And now let's talk about balance. The one that a lot of you are already probably mentioning and typing in the comments. Balance. Predator is underpowered, or Fireteam is underpowered. However I've heard both ways. To me, it's not really one way or the other. To me, it's weapon-based issues, okay? So the fact that you have to rely on a combo stick, I know you don't have to. There's some people that are very good without it. But for the most part, people are relying on a single item to be successful at Predator. And that's an issue to me, right? I think they definitely need to change that up, where make the other weapons good and bring the combo stick back a little bit so that we actually see different Predators rocking different weapons. And I think, like, the knife on the soldiers, it needs to be pulled back, man. Like, you can melee the Predator faster than you can shoot him down, and that's an issue as well. Not to mention parrying. If you figure that out, if you have a team, a fire team that actually is good with the parry, you're in trouble, okay? Because your melee game is going to be completely screwed over, because they're going to stick together and they're going to parry you over and over again. Add a cooldown to parry. Once you use it, you can't use it again for who knows how long. You have guys right now that can hit it 3-4 times in a row, and it's brutal. I mean, you can destroy a Predator doing that. So they need to ease up on the Predator a little bit, pull the knife damage back overall. The fact that you can put a whole clip into, like, the Juggernaut AI, and he doesn't die, but you can knife him twice and he dies. I mean, geez, that's a little unbalanced, I would say. So it's weapon-based balance, I think, is the biggest issue, right? Like, they just need to address those. Even out the weapons, there shouldn't be one weapon that is not only the best, but just by far the best and stands out as the best. I'm okay with both not being very good. Like, you have to build it up because, or both sides, like Fireteam and Predator. I'm okay with having to build up to be good, because there is a massive learning curve when it comes to both sides, especially as Predator. You have to learn how to be successful at Predator. You got to learn how to be patient and not just run in there and go crazy on Fireteam members. But again, the weapons are just not balanced at all. So they definitely need to work on that. And of course, last but not least, AI. AI are still really bad. So they definitely need to address AI and make it just a little bit smarter, a little more challenging. And I think they're getting on the right track. I've had a blast with Predator. Are there flaws? Yes. And there's more that I didn't mention here, but these are the big ones that really stand out to me that just need to be addressed. But I've had a blast so far. I've really enjoyed it. And I'm really looking forward to seeing future content and other characters, new maps, and new kills. I'm excited for all that. I can't wait to see it. But there are things that need to be addressed, without a doubt. But that's my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments below. That's going to wrap up today's video. If you enjoyed, make sure you drop a like and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this one. And if you really enjoyed what you see, consider becoming a member for just $2 by clicking the link in the description below. And with that, as always, thank you guys so much for watching. And I'll see you next time.